Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. There was a lot of other great games in college football, okay? We're going to get to some of them in a minute, but I do want to talk about two games that were kind of going on at the same time that I do think have an interesting correlation in terms of what the future of college football could look like and what it could, and a big kind of seismic shift that could be happening in the offseason. And that was Florida playing Tennessee and Ole Miss playing LSU. Both go to overtime, both on Saturday night. The home team wins both. And I think there could be some trickle-down effects that I don't think a lot of people have kind of put the puzzle pieces together on yet. Now, in terms of the game, big picture, I don't want to spend too much time. I don't think there's like an amazing takeaway from these games. Like, they were great games. Don't know that there's amazing takeaways. Like, LSU beats Ole Miss, okay? Credit LSU. Garrett Nussmeier made throws that I was not aware he was capable of making. But LSU did not lead at any point in the game until the final whistle in overtime when Nussmeier hits Kyron Lacy for the game winner. So I'm not going to come on this show and be like, oh, this is the greatest win in the history of LSU football. No, I think they're a fine team. I think they're going to be challenged starting this week at Arkansas. Haven't even seen a spread on this yet, but I think it's going to be close. The Florida-Tennessee game. Listen, I think Florida's getting a little bit better. I think Tennessee's regressing a little bit. But at the same time, Tennessee finds a way to win. It was a weird game. But where I think it gets interesting is this. Rather than breaking down the game in Tennessee in the third quarter, this happened. Let's talk about the bigger picture. Because we have been talking about Lane Kiffin potentially being the next Florida coach. Really, I want to welcome a new sponsor to the Aaron Torres pod, Blue Chew. Fellas, remember back in the day when you were always ready to go? Well, things change. You got a lot on your mind. Your football team isn't very good. Well, here's the good news. That's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost and in chewable form. To get started, it's so easy. Just go to BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online. No awkward trip to the doctors, no waiting at the pharmacy, no stink eyes, no raised eyebrows, nothing. Thing is, though, I know a lot of you are probably wondering, Torres, does it actually work? Do you think I need to try it? Well, here's the deal. Try it for a month for free, and I think there will be no turning back, all right? You'll love it. Your partner is going to love it. Your football team may stink, but you'll be rocking like the 85 Bears between the sheets. So go ahead, try it out, and here is the great news. We have a special offer for listeners of the Aaron Torres pod. You can try Blue Chew for free when you use the code Torres at checkout. All you got to do is pay $5 in shipping. Go to BlueChew.com, use promo code Torres at checkout. You get Blue Chew for free for a free month, and you only have to pay $5 shipping. Again, visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. Thank you to Blue Chew for sponsoring the Aaron Torres podcast. Since before the season began, and it certainly ramped up when Florida started 1-2 with those two losses to Miami at home and Texas A&M at home. Well, now with Florida at 3-3, now with Lane Kiffin probably and Ole Miss on the outside of the playoff picture, I think that thing may be starting to come to fruition. From the Ole Miss perspective, a couple things on this. Lane Kiffin's got to be frustrated because this was the year where it all had to come together. And listen, I'll be transparent. I think if Lane Kiffin makes the playoff, if they get to that second round, if they do whatever, if they have success, he's not going anywhere because he's winning at the highest level. But this year was supposed to be the year, and it is quickly shaping up not to be at all, okay? Because you look at this Ole Miss team. Jackson Dart was coming back. Third-year starter in this system. Trey Harris, in my opinion, might be the most talented wide receiver in college football. I know you got Jeremiah Smith and Ryan. Trey Harris is really good. But then you added all those guys on defense in the portal, in the offseason, Walter Nolan, all of that, and you had the manageable schedule. Yeah, you got Georgia at home, but you also don't play Bama. don't play Texas. In a year where Tennessee is really good, you don't play Tennessee. By the way, Texas A&M all of a sudden emerging, you don't play Texas A&M either. And so if you were Lane Kiffin, this was the year that it was all shaping up for. And I think there's a couple things. One, I've been told that I think he kind of wants to get out of there anyway. He's a coastal guy. He likes the water. If you notice, anytime that he gets a day or two off, he's on his boat down in Florida. So I think he was already looking for a way out. But two, obviously, if you made the playoff, it's a non-starter. But now you look at Ole Miss, and I think Lane Kiffin's got to be sitting there saying, if I can't get to a 12-team playoff with this roster in this year, with this schedule, is it ever going to happen? Jackson Dart's gone after this year. Can I keep raising the NIL money? Can I keep getting the recruiting wins in the portal? And if not, do I have to start thinking about somewhere else? I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying it's reality. And if you look at Ole Miss's schedule, they are not making the college football playoff. Yes, in theory, it can happen, but they're 5-2 right now. They still have Georgia at home. They still have to go to Arkansas. And I bring up this stat all the time. Lane Kiffin is 0-2 as the head coach of Ole Miss at Arkansas. That's not an easy place to win. Ask Tennessee. LSU this weekend, it's not going to be easy. And so if Ole Miss loses either one of those two, I certainly think they're out. I think you got to win both, because if you lose, even if you lose to Georgia, that's 9-3. You wouldn't have a head-to-head win over Georgia if it comes down to Georgia versus Ole Miss for a spot. You wouldn't have a head-to-head win over LSU if it comes down to Ole Miss versus LSU for a spot. And you're going to have at least one bad loss with Kentucky. So is 9-3 with no good wins getting you in the playoff? It isn't. And even if you beat Georgia, you got to hope that other teams lose along the way, because that Kentucky loss is going to weigh you down. You have no good wins in the out-of-conference. So from the Lane Kiffin perspective, I think he's going to be receptive if the right job opens up.